Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Premier Perspective. Today we are here with a mid-season title race update. So Ryan, why don't you go ahead and just start us off?
Of course, so the table this year, the most indefinite it's almost ever been in the last couple of seasons and the time that Hobby and I have followed the Prem and been City fans just in general. It's crazy for everybody to watch. But teams are on an uneven number of games at this point. The most is 17 games right now. Some teams are even on 15 in that top 10. And we'll see in a minute. Due to cancellations, due to COVID, and a bunch of crazy schedules, like the top teams, like the top like cities, the Uniteds, they're playing about 6, 7, 8 games in the month of January, which is absolutely insane. But so far we have, as for the top 10, so I'm going to list the team, games played, and the amount of points that they have from these games. Number one, Liverpool, 17 games played, 33 points. United with 16 games played and 33 points. Leicester have played 17 with 32 points. Tottenham have played 16 with 29 points. Man City have played 15 with 29 points. Southampton in sixth have played 17 with 29 points. Everton in seventh, 16 played, 29 points. Villa in eighth, 15 played, 26 points. Chelsea 17 played, 26 points. And in 10th place, West Ham, 17 games played and 26 points. Up to seventh place is only 4 points off top of the table. Up to 10th place is only seven, which is absolutely insane because some seasons, that season that Liverpool was ahead of City, that it looked like Liverpool was going to win the league, but City came back. Liverpool was 8 points ahead of City, first and second. So for the whole table to be this close, it's really exciting to watch. But I think, in my opinion, they're only the top five teams, which I would consider in contention. The other five have played all right, but they haven't showed enough consistency to prove that they could possibly have a title push. First up, Liverpool, first place, 33 points. Could go down to second with the United winner draw. They've scored 37 goals this season, which is insane. That the game against Palace, the 7-0, definitely helped that goal tally. But their great defensive record, despite that 7-2 loss. So aside from that, I'm pretty sure they only let up, I think it was 13 or 14 goals. Other than that Villa game with the 7 goals, and especially missing VVD, they've been playing really well with Henderson or Fabinho being able to come in at that center back, and they still have a lot of talented defensive players, even if it's just CDMs. Curtis Jones has been able to come in for that Liverpool team. He's been really great, but honestly, Liverpool struggle to score, which is really uh, you never thought I would hear that or see that, considering that front three they have with Firmino, Mane, and Salah. But they're definitely missing Diego Jota, who came in from Wolves, immediately made an impact, started playing really well, was one of the quickest Liverpool players to reach 10 goals in the Prem or in all competitions, I'm pretty sure. But his injury, he should be coming back soon. But in terms of just the general play for Liverpool, they play really well against the big teams, but they really struggle against the teams that actually play them. And we saw that against Southampton with that 1-0 loss. So we'll see going forward how consistent Liverpool are. Hopefully they can find some identity in their team once they get used to playing with the new group of players. But for that, they're definitely one to watch.
Yeah, with Liverpool, we see something that we've talked about a lot with Manchester City this year, and that is that both teams, even with attacking managers, have struggled to find goals. Liverpool, that's only recently that they've seemed to have a problem from net, but that's mostly to do with more of their style of play rather than their inability to score goals. I feel like a lot of times, even with their dominant possession, they don't really get the amount of chances. I know the one game against West Brom that they tied, they only had two shots on goal the whole game. And in a game where you have that much possession, you definitely need to be getting more shots on net. But we see that with Liverpool and City, that sometimes they look frail going forward, and I feel like that's gonna eventually hurt Liverpool more in like the next couple games because it seems like that sort of form is only starting for Liverpool, while for Manchester City it's been kind of fading away in the last couple games. But Liverpool is a great team, and I fully expect them to go all the way to the end and challenge for the title.
Yeah, totally agree with that one. Not much more you can say about Liverpool. There's just very exciting to watch, see how they play it out. Next up, currently in second is United. They could go top after their next match with a win or a draw above Liverpool, who they have a game in hand on them. They've been playing well in the Prem, but can they keep up that consistency for 22 more games? We don't know. If you asked me a week ago, I probably would have said yes. They're definitely title contenders, which I would absolutely hate to see Javi as well being City fans. I don't know if I could take that, but
I wouldn't be
before
able to
they
take it.
no, of course not. It would be absolutely terrible. But uh, especially looking at the way they played City, like I said a week ago, I probably would have said like yeah, they're definitely a dangerous title contender, but they just didn't come out to play against City. And I know that's the EFL Cup. I know that's not usually United's thing, but and they always lose in the semifinals of that tournament. But still, like you got to come out to play those games with a full strength team. You need to start. You need to act like you want to play, act like you want to score. If Martial could find form in scoring along with Rashford, I think they could go on a serious title run. We know they can score goals, play solidly as a team. We saw in the Leeds game, Scott McTominay scored the only goal in the Watford game, FA Cup. They won they scored in the 5th minute, one against Watford to go to through to the next round of the FA Cup. But McTominay is going to be a huge part of that team. Dean Henderson playing really well. De Gea, can he keep it up? We don't know. United's definitely one to watch, but consistency is probably the most questionable with them.
Definitely, consistency has always been the problem for Man United. I really feel like, despite the form that they've been in, I don't know if they're capable of going all the way. Defensively, they've played well, but I don't know if that back four is going to be able to progress the entire season. It's only a matter of time that we see what it is. But that pretty much wraps up Manchester United. And like we're saying here, I think form is what's going to determine whether United stays in this title race until the end. Next, we have Leicester, who's currently in third. Now, despite their place in the table and how well that they've been, me and Ryan were talking about it, and we don't really see them going all the way. Their form has been shaky. They have a good squad. When you have Jamie Vardy, you're gonna definitely get goals. You're definitely gonna have a well attacking play, but I just don't see Leicester being a part of the title race for the long haul. I don't know. I don't mean that by any disrespect. I just feel like the other clubs surrounding them in the table just have a bit more quality.
Yeah, for sure. And Leicester definitely have quite a bit of quality in their team with Harvey Barnes in their team this year, James Madison turning up again, Jamie Vardy, who always has. But just some of the games, I mean, they beat Tottenham. They played really well against them. One thing that you can credit Leicester with is they always come out to play, even if they don't, always have it right or get everything right. They always come out to play. They're always playing well. Well, I mean that might be a little too far to say they always play well, but they definitely come out to play, and they're a strong team. But they just don't have the consistency, that title winning drive back from 2015-16 um, that could do it again, especially considering how like the other teams are doing around them, like how they've been playing this season, how the game has advanced in those 5 years. I think they'll be an annoyance in that top 5 or 6, but I don't think they'll make a big push for the title. But definitely look for them to upset one of those top 5 or 6 teams to change something in the title race.
Yeah,
Yeah, next.
definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. And I feel like Leicester is the type of team that they might not necessarily win the title. But right now, as we're looking, we see Liverpool, United, Tottenham, and City as the four teams that are going to be pushing for the title. But we never know. I feel like Leicester's the type of team that they might drop form right around this time, but they might make a late push. They might be able to sneak in into the top four, take that fourth place away from one of the other teams. But next we have Tottenham. Tottenham is just really a mixed bag with them. They have great quality of players, great manager, just seem to never really get it right all the time. We've seen some great performances from them this year. Really convincing 2-0 victory over City. Their pounding of United 6-1. Kane and Son have both looked great, The only problem is that they've had these great performances, but then a lot of times they're followed by subpar performances. So I feel like consistency is more of the issue with Tottenham rather than the quality, because they have the quality. It's just the form doesn't always stay. And I feel like when you compare them to Liverpool or City, I feel like Liverpool and City are just a level above both. Like both of them are just a level above like the likes of Tottenham and United.
I totally agree with that. And in terms of like just the way they play the subpar performances, as you said, like we've seen Tottenham play amazing games, such as the one against United, and they played really well against City, even though they sat back after scoring the goals. But do what you got to do to get the win, I guess. But it wouldn't be my first choice. But anyway, their passive style, like this sitting back, it saw them struggle in games where they shouldn't have struggled. We saw it against Leicester, West Ham, Palace, and even Brentford, who almost pulled the goal back when Tony, Brentford striker, who's been playing insane this season, was offsides by his knee. So they almost pulled the goal back through that. And Kane and Son, absolutely amazing together. You cannot take away from how great they've been together. Like I forget what the exact stats are, but Kane's stats are higher because he has more assists, just because he plays a little bit deeper than Son and Bergwijn as well. But at this point in the season, teams are going to figure out how to defend them. It's predictable because Kane's going to get that ball deep. All you need to do is place a cam or a striker really deep, like at that position, or you're seated, whatever position you need him on Kane, to make sure he doesn't get anywhere in front of it. Because if Kane can't dribble, if Kane can't carry from deep, he's not going to be able to assist Son and advance that play and then sit back. Another thing Tottenham likes to do is score in the first 10, 15 minutes of the game and then sit back until about 85 minutes, let up a goal. Then, oh no, what am I going to do? It's
Typical.
1-1 with like 4 minutes left, and I don't know what I'm going to do about this. So that'll definitely prove to be a problem for them for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we saw that especially with the Wolves game. I remember watching the Wolves game. They were playing a pretty decent game against Wolves. They scored early, and then right at the end, Wolves tied up, and then Mourinho's just left there, not really necessarily knowing what to do. But that's the problem that I see with Tottenham, and I think that wraps up how I feel about Tottenham. I think personally that Tottenham's looking at a third or fourth place in the league. I think that they're gonna push until the end, definitely, to try and win the title. But I don't see them finishing higher than third or fourth. Might be biased because I'm a City fan, but right now, based on current form, I would say that Manchester City are favorites, and that's our last team that we're going to be talking about. Um, if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I would not say Manchester City, but you asking me now, I'm definitely saying Manchester City. They're 4 points off the top with 2 games in hand. Obviously, United is second with the game in hand, so we wouldn't necessarily be first if we win both our games, but we're moving in a positive direction. They've recently found a lot of good form playing together. I feel the partnership of Foden and Sterling, which I feel like I say every episode on this on this show, have been great. I feel when a striker comes in with Jesus or Aguero, it's gonna help improve City a lot. Defensively, have been amazing, the best in the league. Um, and Diaz and Stones have been phenomenal. If the goal scoring form continues in the direction that it is right now, I don't see any team stopping City from winning the title. Now, it's not a guarantee. We've seen some poor performances from City this year. Pretty bad game versus Tottenham, the super boring draw versus United, drawing against West Brom. There's been poor performances, but more recently, I've seen a lot of more positive play from them. And I feel if they continue in this form that they are in right now, that they're going to win the title.
I totally agree. And Foden needs to definitely consistently start on that left side with Sterling on his right, with a striker up top who knows how to get goals, who knows what they're doing. If Jesus and Aguero can start putting in goals, City, I mean, I like still put them as definitely the favorites up there with Liverpool to win that title, but City will really have a serious title push if their strikers can put in goals. Because now it's been their cams, their wings, and which is great to see. But still, that's those strikers putting goals. We saw it with Vardy and Salah in their title winning seasons. It like that one attacking player, the source of their goals, their main goal threat is going to be absolutely crucial for them if they're really going to win the title. But their amazing defensive record, as Javi said, best in the league, let up 13 goals in 15 games, but they're also the lowest scoring alongside West Ham, who's in 10th place with 24 goals. So once they can get it together and start scoring goals and winning games, putting the games away, picking up full amount of points and not dropping them, that's really going to be what pushes them to that title. Because City at the moment, pretty sure in the Prem they only have 2 losses, but they have like 5 draws. And how many points? That's 10 drop points, and that absolutely kills them. But if they stay consistent defensively with Ruben Diaz and John Stones, I saw a stat after the FA Cup game with United. It was John Stones, I'm pretty sure, and it was like in the 13 games John Stones has played, he's kept 10 clean sheets, which is absolutely insane. I know he like had some injury trouble over time,
Ridiculous.
and that's absolutely insane stats. Like you can't say anything about that. And Ruben Diaz, who's a confident defender, adjusts to the Prem like exceptionally well. You like
100%.
definitely they could definitely that's gonna be he could be their new company, like their new to step in. And Stones getting a goal against United at the week in the EFL Cup semis, like it's definitely very exciting to see. But
Yeah,
as for the other teams, I don't see them consistent enough or strong enough with enough longevity to make a serious push for the title. But it's definitely going to be a title race to remember.
100%. And I think that we might see surprises. You never know. We're right here saying what we think, but you never know. Maybe a team that's in 6 to 10 right now goes on a crazy run of form and end up winning the title. We saw a crazy story 5 years ago now with Leicester City.
Yeah.
So we know anything can happen in this league for sure. That's the beauty of the Prem. But that pretty much wraps up this midseason title race update. We definitely want to say thank you to anyone who is shown support so far for our channel. 2021 is definitely going to be a year full of blessings, a year full of a lot of great videos, a lot of great content. We're definitely always looking to improve and to provide everyone here with new sort of content. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. And we'll see you guys again later in the week with a brand new video. And yeah, we'll see you guys then.